welcome to a Jesus marriage. So, a great point for your relationships is trust and honesty. I think that for me, where I've noticed where I have had problems is in trust, and you have to realize that, when you're choosing your spouse, you're choosing them based off their character. You're also choosing them on their appearance. You're choosing them how, attracted you are to them. But also, you're choosing them based on your interest. And so, I think it's very important that from the get-go, you're just honest about who you are and what you believe in. I can appreciate that um, when people, when we're honest, when my spouse is honest with me saying, you know what, I used to do this or I used to do that, or I'm struggling with this or I'm struggling with that, or, you know, just being really blunt. I think having those honest conversations are important. I think when you're starting out from the get go, you should just be talking about a lot of different topics. I mean, you guys should be having deep conversations from the get go, and you have to know where you stand on certain issues. Now, of course, there's going to be differences. There's, from what I've learned, that there are two separate people in a relationship that are coming together as one, and you have different opinions. You have different likes, dislikes, and it's not a marriage breaker when you are, you know, having differences. But I think being honest from the get go and having real conversations about, do you believe in God? I think one of the things that I've talked about with my spouse is that, we talked about, do you believe in God? Do you believe in Jesus? What are some of the things that you struggle with, And I know for me, I was honest with my spouse. I was saying, hey, I've had issues with alcohol, or, I've had issues in this particular category, this particular thing. This is kind of what I'm drawn to, and I think from the get go, telling your spouse what you are, your strengths and your weaknesses, I think is very important. And then also having a trust. So I think as far as your concerns in a relationship go, I think definitely bringing those issues up is important, but also trusting in the Lord, putting your trust in Jesus and saying, you know what, I don't know how all of this is, going to play out. I don't know, the future, but I'm trusting that I can put my trust that this person is reliable. This person has my back. This person is going to be with me. And when you voice that and tell that to the Lord, He cares about what you go through. He cares about our life so much. He made us. He made this life. He gave us this life. And so, I think it's very important that you have a trust in the Lord first, but also trust in your spouse. I know for me personally, my mind starts to think like, it gets kind of thought of like, what is this person up to? Like, what is my wife doing when I'm not around? What are, just those crazy thoughts. And I think that you can have those thoughts, but ultimately you have to put your trust in God. And I think remembering why you chose your spouse. For me, I chose my spouse because, we met at church, and I saw in her that she was a godly woman, that she pursued God and loved the Lord. And that was my reasoning for choosing my spouse. But I think that ultimately your trust is in the Lord, not putting your trust in one person. But you have every thought that you think, like, oh, is my spouse, wondering if I'm not good, or if my spouse wondering if someone out there is better for her than me. Thinking those type thoughts, I think you have to really put your trust in God and say, God has put you together with a good spouse. But also, you have to realize that, what are the reasons? What do you see in your spouse? Oh, Shadrika is a godly woman. That's the name of my spouse. Shadrika, goes to Bible study. She pursues God. She has a prayer life. She has wise answers when I ask her a question. And I think for whatever you have to fill in the blank for your spouse. And so your trust can be, you know what, I'm going to not do certain things, because I, really distrust my spouse. And so I think for me personally, I struggled with trust, and I feel like I've had moments where, I've been distrusting of someone. And I think what I have to come to terms of is, you know what, I'm not going to let my thoughts get all over the place about what my spouse is up to when I'm gone, or what my spouse is, thinking towards me, if I'm good in her eyes or not. You know, I think I have to realize that, my trust is in the Lord. My trust is that He knows what's best for me, that He is working everything out for my good if I love Him, which, we say we do if we keep His commandments. And so I think being honest from the get-go, one thing my spouse told me, my wife, she was like, I went through this when, she was telling me about past relationships that she's been in before. And I thought that was really honest, because you're just being truthful and you're not trying to hide anything. And so I think when you go into a relationship and you're married, I think God honors our honesty, and He honors, He likes to see that we're honest, and He likes to see that we're putting our trust in God first. And then also, when we put our trust in God, that helps us trust our spouse. So I hope this video was helpful. Hope you liked it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you on the next video. See ya.